great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 612 of the Immigration Answer Show. How is everybody doing? What's going on? Apparently no text went out today. So we got all the real players. All the OGs are here. Those who know other ways to find out when we're going live. They're already spreading the love in the comments. Good to see everybody. Sorry about the texting snafu. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but there was no text for today. We're going to have a special guest here in a minute once she gets her camera working. And I'll be here for the whole hour trying to answer all of your immigration law-related questions. How's everybody doing? Let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. I see we got some new players here. Big up to all the yardies. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? How are things in Jamaica? How are things in California? Here's a good comment. Brie Ladal, I'm more of a silent watcher, but I'm always here. How about that? We like that. Dammy's here as usual. Hello, Dammy. And Robert says hello to all the players. Robert's watching. Lewis is watching above the Atlantic. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? On his way back to Austin. I think Lewis was back home for a couple weeks or a week or so. Laura's here. Hina's here. Robert's here. Brie Ladal says, I came across him after we submitted our case. I like coming here to learn about other immigration cases, see if anyone else has similar experiences. Lindy's here. Hello, Lindy. Gustavo is here. Mr. Tusk is here. David is here. Amani, your camera's not on. I don't know what's going on. We can't see you. I'm going to tell her your camera's not on. She's upstairs in her office. I don't know what's going on. Do you know? Hold on, Julie's saying something. What?
No, that she knows because we're chatting and she's trying to fix it. So I told her maybe she has a camera on something else.
Yeah. Okay, cool. She says I don't know why. Okay. I should tell her maybe just come on down.
Okay, I'll write her that.
I got it. I'm texting her right now.
Okay. Well, everyone, guess who's our guest today?
Our guest today is Amani. We're having everybody join us, and this week it's Amani. So I'll let you go, Julie, and Amani's the big surprise guest, so that'll be fun. I don't know what she's going to do. Maybe she's trying to log back on. Let's see. Because the text never went out, the waiting room is wide open. So if you've been waiting to ask me a question, now would be a great time to get in the waiting room. Julio will share the link. Here's Amani. Now,
hello. I clicked the link. I did everything I was supposed to. I don't know why it didn't work.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Amani's not technologically savvy.
I am technologically fine. Thank you.
If you haven't figured that out yet, Amani's not very.
I'm very technologically fine. Thank you so much. I did. Right. I joined the link. I did everything I was supposed to, and it didn't work. That's not on me.
You got to scoot closer because
like here?
There's only one camera. No, more.
Like this. Hello.
I'll sit over here.
Hi, everyone. I'm here.
This is why I said we should be. You need to be more.
More here. I'm right here. Hello.
How about that? All right. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm sorry it didn't work. I did what I was supposed to, people. I'm sorry. I can only do so much.
We haven't done a show together in a while. I remember we did one in Arizona that one time.
Yeah, in the hotel. That was fun.
Yeah. All right. So everybody wants to say hello. A lot of our favorites are here. No, Lewis, we're not going out to dinner tonight. Monty said we have to have leftovers. So
leftovers tonight. That's what we're doing. I'm cooking tomorrow.
All right. So tell everybody who you are and how you ended up here and what your job is, please.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I'm Amani Ragab Hacking. I have been an attorney for, over 25 years now. So after law school, I did lots of different things. I started out at the Court of Appeals, working with judges and helping write decisions, and that was really fun. It was a great job. Then I went to private practice and did general civil litigation. Then I ended up going back to the court for a while when we had a couple babies. Then I went and started teaching at the law school, St. Louis University Law School, where Jim and I attended. So I was back there around 2008 or so, or 2007, something like that. And I was there for, maybe 9 or 10 years. And then it was time for me to practice again. And I was excited about that. And so Jim was growing his practice, and he had an attorney who had just left, and he said, "Why don't you join me?" And I thought, what? I hadn't thought about that.
I said, "Why are you going to go compete with me? Why don't you just join me?"
I never even thought of it. I was so glad he said it. I was so busy doing a million things. I had 4 kids. I was working. I didn't know if, wanted to cause the stress of working together. And you know what? We've been here 8 or 9 years now together doing this. So far, so good.
So you've been a great asset to the firm. Why don't you tell everybody sort of what your roles are here? Because you have more than one role for sure.
Thank you, Jim. One of my favorite things to do is to be a lawyer and practice law and have cases. And I really enjoy that. Oh, you guys are so kind. Your comments are so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I love being a lawyer and I love handling cases. So I still do a little bit of that here. I'm trying to do less of that. So what I try to do is train the lawyers and the team and the paralegals to make sure they can handle the cases the way that we want to, because we want to provide excellent legal services. And in order to do that, we want to make sure everyone has the tools that they need and the training that they need and the expectations, the same expectations that we have, which include our core values and our attorney and paralegal expectations. And so our job is to make sure that everyone has the tools they need to provide excellent legal services to our clients, because we want to fight for immigrants every day, and we want to do what's in their best interest, which are our 2 most important and early core values. So my job is to make sure everything kind of runs on time, that the legal ops has what it needs, that the finance department has what it needs, HR, our technology department, intake. And so that's why I'm here. I kind of make everything run on time.
One of the things that we do for all of our team members is we give them a test called a Colby Index, which sort of sets forth like where you get your energy.
Move over.
I can't. There's no room left. Where you get your energy from, what you like to focus on, how you sort of solve problems. And I'm very unusual in that I'm a 10 quick start and you're a 1 quick start.
That's true.
And then you're a 9 fact finder and a 9 follow through, and I'm a 6 fact finder, which is how I'm
not that high of a follow through, but yes, we flip each other.
Yeah. So
we complement each other.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Well, when you're a really high quick start, according to this Colby Index, it means, as you probably see with Jim, he can just kind of hop into something and swing into action, which I think is great. And that's a great skill. And I can do that, but I don't like to do that. I much rather be prepared, know what's going to happen, have a plan, like what's for dinner, what's going to happen with this case, what's going to happen with this client, what do the rules say, what are we going to do next? So I'm much more structured, and I like that format and style. And I think that works well with a lot of our clients. I love all your comments. You guys are so sweet. So that's sort of how I operate. And Jim is really open to lots of different things and lots of ideas and lots of wonderful new things that can happen and come up, which I think can be very good. It can also be a little bit distracting. So I think what we do together is we try to find out what is most exciting to Jim and what is most realistic to me. And we kind of blend that together, and we build cases that way. We build a family that way. We build our practice that way. And so it's really that combination that's really important. Because I think if you have just me doing, okay, put your head down, do this, do that, you might miss something. You might miss some growth. You might miss some great ideas. And I think if you just have Jim's way, you might have so many ideas that you don't know where to start and you don't know how to finish what you started. And so the combination, I think, is really, really nice, and we try to make that work.
So there's a good question on here. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
AJ said, it was AJ, I think. Let's see. Well, Laura says, I love seeing other strong women. Amani's such an intelligent person with true grit.
Oh, thank you.
That wasn't it. That's wasn't what I was looking for.
It's good to be reminded, though. That's very important.
Where did it go? It was.
I didn't see
the question
it.
was, have you ever? That's it. Thank you, Huli. Amani, did you ever said to Jim, "You're wrong here," and he changed his decision? You mean like since this morning?
That's really
yesterday,
sweet, AJ.
this week.
I will say that, we each have strong personalities. And so I have to be really careful with that. People think, oh, Jim is really laid back. And he appears so, but when he has something in his head.
Well, they like it when I get mad.
Yes, you've seen this.
Seen that. That's their favorite.
He can get kind of intense and very hyper-focused on what he wants to do. And so it can be a challenge because I'm like that most of the time. And I'm trying to balance it because I don't want to crush a new idea or crush the soul of someone who's trying to tell me something different, because that's important too, but I have to be in the right mindset. So to answer your question, yes, I have done that, and it's very hard. And Jim, thankfully, has an open mind and is willing to listen to me when I'm reasonable and rational and give him good reasons. And I do think we get along pretty well, very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when emotions get really high and maybe a case is really intense that we may not see eye to eye, but we can get there, right? Because the beauty of what we do is we use our words, right? We fight with our words. We persuade with our words. We listen to words. And so we really try to pause when we can. Of course, not everything is ideally like this. We would love it, but of course there are times when it doesn't work that way. But the thought is to be respectful and kind and listen and make sure you hear both sides. But then ultimately it's to do the best thing for the client, for the person that's in front of you, for the decision that you're trying to make. And you want to give that person as much information as possible. So that's how Jim and I operate. I'll say, hey, why did you want to do this? Why do you think this is a good idea? Or here's what I think. Let's make a good decision.
So
people are so nice. I really like this. My little fan club. I need a little fan club.
Yeah,
Jim has his own fan club every day. I have to fight for my fans.
So somebody asked if Traylene said hello, and could you share a little bit of your immigrant story?
Oh, okay, sure. So for me, I came to the United States in 1979 from Egypt with my mom. My dad may they both rest in peace. They both passed away many years ago. My mom just passed away. Was it 2 years almost? 2022. Yeah.
January of 22.
Yeah. So almost 2 years ago. Anyway, so when we came to the United States from Egypt in 1979, we moved to Chicago, and it was a big adjustment to go from El Mansour, Egypt, the little town. It's much bigger now, but a little town in Egypt, to a giant city in Chicago. And thankfully, my dad was a doctor, and he was able to, start his life. And he was a resident for a long time, really didn't have very much money or very many resources. And he was at work a lot. He worked everywhere, all over the state of Illinois, to get jobs. We even moved to Ohio for a little while so he can work at a hospital. So he did lots of different things, even as a doctor. Eventually opened his own practice and did fine. But it was a hard life. It was a big adjustment. I had two older brothers. I was almost 7. They were, 11 and 13, middle school and high school. And those were tough years. But you know what? I'm so glad my parents were brave and strong and brought us here, because look at the life we built and the life that we have now. I wouldn't have that.
Yeah. So that's sort of what you bring to the practice, and you bring that perspective that I don't have. And Amani found her passport and visa picture.
Oh, yeah.
So back then in Egypt,
you guys are making me sad now.
It was one picture. It was Amani's mom and her sister, or her brothers and her, all in one picture. That was on their passports.
And I had never seen that until my mom passed away. I found it, and it was a really beautiful thing to see. I didn't even know the exact date we came to the United States until I saw that stamp. And it's funny because I look at all those stamps for my clients, and I know what they mean. Like, that stamp was everything. Without that stamp, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the life that we had. So I'm so grateful for that process and that opportunity. And you guys made me sad. Okay, let's talk about something else.
Traylene said, thanks for sharing your story. You have to be brave to leave where you know and come to where you don't know. I think that's right.
That's for sure, especially with 3 kids.
So this is a good one. Julian, Amani, if there were one thing you could change about U.S. immigration law, what would it be?
Oh, gosh, that's amazing. Wow, that's a really great question. I would say I wish it was more compassionate and forgiving. It really isn't. It's pretty harsh. It's black and white, which generally I like. I like rules. I like black and white. But when you see the people and how these black and white rules that don't always make sense apply to them, and how it impacts their entire family and their entire life, it's really frustrating. And even when people do follow the rules, it still doesn't work efficiently and effectively. So I would love it to be more compassionate, more human, and not just number and check a box and don't check a box. I want them to see the people behind the papers. If I could, make it more human, that's what I would do.
If it were me, I would get rid of IRA, the laws in 96 that President
sure.
Clinton signed, because
Terrible.
so many bad things came out of that. Number one, it stripped federal courts of judicial review of bad immigration decisions. That's one big problem. And the other is
permanent bars.
Put in the bars. Yeah, the bars. Yeah. We really need to get that off.
And that's what I mean about it's so punitive. It's so, I want to say a little arbitrary as well. You don't know people's circumstances and why they did what they did. But it's very rigid and harsh.
All right. So I know you got other things you got to go do. Do you have time? How are you doing?
Yeah. I have like 3 or 4 more minutes and then I got to go.
All right. So maybe we'll just look
Is
through
there
the
another
comments a little
question?
bit. I don't think we'll do any. These usually take longer. So if you
because people in the room. Oh, I'm sorry.
Damon says, makes me think of my immigrant parents. So many sacrifices.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for having Amani on again. The officer took they're asking about. Let's do this.
Okay.
The officer took the speeding tickets at my green card interview, but didn't correct the citation question as per FOIA. What is your advice at my naturalization? Just list them all. List them all and make sure that you have proof at your interview that they've all been paid, and that should all be fine.
Yeah, I mean, but that question, that's a good question though. You always err on the side of telling what you need to tell. You know what I mean? Like, don't get clever and say, no, I don't have any tickets, or they know about them, so I don't need to tell them now.
Or they got dismissed, so I don't have to.
Yes, or they don't exist anymore. My lawyer said they don't exist anymore. So you should err on the side of, telling what the truth is in as few words as possible. That's really one of the best pieces of advice I can give you, right?
Here's one more for you.
Do you ever want any? Definitely. I love being a lawyer. I don't know that everyone loves being a lawyer, but I think, Jim, you love being a lawyer.
Oh, I love
too.
being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we love being lawyers, and not everyone is a happy lawyer. And that's what I tell my kids, and even young lawyers and young people who are thinking about studying law. Not everybody is a happy lawyer. And I think it's really important to find a profession that makes you happy and skills that you can work and develop and that give you fulfillment. And so that's kind of what we tell our kids. I don't think everyone would make a good lawyer. I do think our kids would make good lawyers, but it's up to them what they want to do. And wouldn't it be great if they could help us fulfill our life mission, really, which is serving immigrants?
A couple things quickly. One is Amani has not met Shabazz. Amani's seen the videos.
Is he here?
No.
Oh,
they're all wondering. I don't think Amani would put up with old Shabazz very long. And
poor Shabazz. I think Jim was very patient with him and very kind.
Well, not the first time. The first time I yelled my head off, but
it was kind of an absurd situation.
Tony has the most important question, and then we'll let you go.
Okay. Is this the show where we complete our what? Oh, ha.
Tony's been talking about the belly dancer since the first time I mentioned it. So maybe for episode 750.
No, I don't think so. But there are some great listen, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful art form, and it's a beautiful exercise, and it's part of our culture.
Tell them what happened when we were on that Nile cruise.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No,
Jim, stop it.
Tell them what happened.
No.
It's funny.
So culturally, it's not something that people like to see there. I don't know how to word it without sounding funny. It's something that it's an old time thing, and people that do it now, it's still beautiful to watch and all of that. But in Egypt and in, Muslim countries, you can understand it's a conservative culture, right? And so when you have a woman dressed like that, it can be very provocative and seen as inappropriate. And so you don't want to be disrespectful of the people and of the culture. But if you are interested in it, there are some wonderful movies and some wonderful things on television. I think there are places live in St. Louis. You can go see it as well.
I think our friend Cheryl took belly dancing classes.
Yes, but just so you know, in Muslim countries, it's generally kind of hard to find in sort of more upscale places because it's more conservative. And
that's why when it happened, when we were on the Nile,
like
Amani's cousin's eyes went like this, and they were like, "Oh my God!" All right, so I think.
And there's my boss. My boss calling me. I gotta go.
Everybody agrees they want to have you on the show more often.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you all. Good to see you.
Next time we'll make sure we have enough room so I don't have to sit way over here. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Right.
See you later.
Have a
Wish
good
me
day.
luck.
See ya. We'll put that chair back where it was.
Hello.
All right. How about that? I'm tired now. Glenn says maybe we can have an after dark show with belly dancers. That'd be fun. That would be fun. Everybody's saying yes to that. Bye, Amani. All right. Well, that was fun. Amani brings a lot of energy to things, and this was sort of low key Amani. So you guys should see her when she's sort of off the charts. That's when it really gets fun. All right. Let's get the show started. I'll be here for the next 40 minutes trying to answer as many questions as I can. That was fun having Amani, and I think you guys are right. It makes my job easier too having her here. I don't have to do the whole thing for the hour, so that makes it nice. But I, of course, love being with you guys. And today I'm going to start the show with Hope. Hello, Hope.
Hey, hi, Jim. Please, can I be your camera?
Of course, it's Thursday. Go right ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I've been watching your show for a while now,
Awesome.
and I've been learning a lot from your show. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
So my situation is I came in on a visitor's visa B1, B2.
Okay.
And I have 6 months on my visa that I can stay and touring, visiting with family and friends. Now, this is my first time traveling to the US, and I think I just love being here. And I'm considering the opportunity to further my education, to have my MBA done here, which I can afford, and I have the resources for it. Now, my question is how do I moving from a B1 B2 to an F1 status for student visa after my 90 days of being here, but doing that within the US here. So changing my status from B1, B2 to F1. I don't know if that is something that is okay to do while I'm still in status, or if I have to go back to my country and to go, do apply for a new F1. And what happens to my B1, B2 if I go back and do that?
Great question. Thanks so much for the question, Hope. So, how long has it been since you've been going to school full time?
No, I haven't started school yet. I'm still in my almost 3 months of being here.
No, I know that. But how long has it been since you finished your bachelor's? Like, when did you stop going to school?
It's about 4 years ago.
Okay. So, I'm going to walk you through sort of the history of my advice on your question. Okay.
Okay.
So 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it was pretty easy to change from a B1 to an F1. Basically, you come to the United States on your visit, you go find some schools that want to take you, you see if you can afford the tuition, they issue you an I-20, and then you file a change of status from B1, B2 in that first 6 months that you're here, and they generally approve it in a month or two, and you have a new status in the United States, right?
Yes.
But with the pandemic and with Trump and with USCIS trying to focus on other things, I-539 changes of status in the United States have taken much, much longer, almost a year and a half, a year, 14 months, something like that. And so at that point, you're sort of going all in. You're putting a lot of risk in your situation because they might not approve it. And if they don't approve it, then you've sort of, not technically, but you've sort of stayed over your 6 months that you promised you would come. So you said this is the first time you've ever come on your visit visa. I would be very nervous about you applying for a change of status inside the United States. It might work and it might happen quickly, but for most people who call this show, I tell them don't do that. And the reason for that is because they don't get their change of status approved anytime quickly, and then they're left holding the bag. And the other thing is that if you just got this wonderful visit visa, is it a multiple entry visa?
Yes, it is.
So to me, if I'm a consular official and it comes time to renew your B1, B2, and I see that as soon as you came to the United States, you applied for a change of status, even if it's after 90 days, they're not going to like that. So I think you start making your immigration history a lot more complicated than maybe it needs to be. Now, if you really, 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 really want to go to school, your best bet probably is to do the change of status here, because I think it's 40% chance, 30% chance that if you go back and say, hey, I want to get an F1, I think there's like a 30% chance they give it to you. Does that make sense?
Is it better to go back or better?
It's your call. It's your call. I think there's a good chance they don't give it you the student visa. What country is it?
It's Nigeria.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think there's a chance they don't give it to you, and then they could revoke your visit. I doubt it, but I think the chances of you getting a student visa to come back are probably about 30%. So you have to decide: do I want to live the next year of my life waiting to see if they ever approve this damn change of status, or do I want to go back and take the risk of them not giving me the student visa?
Okay, and another question, Jean. Thank you for that. Because I was reading online and I saw that there is this expedited change that's is for about 2 weeks. I think it costs about $1,800 and something if you wanted to do the expedite, right? I think that happened, I think, October of 2023.
Yeah.
It's on the USCIS website.
So I don't know anybody who's done that. So I don't feel qualified to answer about whether that's a thing that even works. I know that USCIS is notorious for making promises of fast turnarounds and charging people extra, and then it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that would happen, but that might be a nice option for you, because then at least you could do it all within your 6 months. And if you don't get it, then you go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thanks, Hope.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Good luck. Thanks for coming on the show.
Okay.
All right. That was Hope. Let's go to Ana Lucia. She's been waiting. Hi. You're on mute.
Oh, hi, Jim. Sorry about that.
All good.
And thank you so much for doing this. I watch your show a lot.
Awesome.
And the one thing that I had questions about, and it's like I've done all my paperwork, but I'm kind of like don't really know when I'm supposed to get my driver's license or if I'm allowed to. I got a bunch of I-797Cs, and I went to the DMV, and they were like, kind of like stepping on eggshells around it. And I took the written test, and after that, they told me that the system still has me as a B2. So I wasn't kind of like, they weren't allowed to give me the permit.
What state?
So, excuse me?
What state is it?
Which date?
No, state.
Oh, it's in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. And you don't have your EAD yet?
No. And I told them it was okay. I'll just come back in 3 weeks, because it was supposed to be authorized or given me an answer. But now it's like the webpage went empty, and then it's giving me 3 more weeks. So I guess they added 3 more weeks to it.
So when did you file everything?
In April. It was in April.
Okay, so just you filed like right after the deadline?
Right before.
Right before.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think it got sent on March 25th
or
so.
So most states, and I don't know the rules in each state, but most states won't give you your driver's license until you get your work card. Usually it's the work card that then shows that you have some status other than a visit visa, and that's what allows them to give you a driver's license.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Really, thank you so much.
I just wouldn't mess around with that. Once you get your EAD and your social security card, then go and get your driver's license.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye. See ya. All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Ana Lucia. Let's see what Larry's got. Hi, Larry.
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Question for you. I filed a I-130 back in the end of November. Checked on the status, as you said before, under active review.
Yeah.
And the time went down on it, and it went down, and then it finally said 5 weeks. And then 3 days later, I checked it again. Now it said there's been an unexpected delay and it's going to take longer. What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is, if you've watched this show more than once, you've heard me say I don't believe anything they say about processing times. And November, is this for an overseas case, Larry?
Yes.
Most I-130s overseas take 12 to 14 months. So I basically don't spend any time thinking about it until the 10 or 11 month mark. I think you're just waiting.
Okay. Now at least I know where I stand. I was wondering about that because they time it down on you.
It's all BS.
It's all bull. Okay.
Domino's will deliver your pizza on time, but USCIS won't deliver your I-130 on time. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. We got married here in the States, and it was a Zoom wedding.
Okay.
I sent them all the information that I could possibly send. We met in the country of Georgia, spent 2 weeks together, so I sent them every text message we had between us, all our pictures, all my receipts, all the airfare. Do you think that was enough for them, or?
Well, let's talk about a different question. That sounds pretty good to me. Here's an issue. Have you gone to visit her since your online marriage?
Yeah, that's where I met her, in Georgia.
Oh, so you were both in Georgia?
We married before we ever met. Then we went to Georgia, spent 2 weeks on our honeymoon there. We were married February 20th. I met her that same year on September 11th. We spent 2 weeks in Georgia.
What year was that?
Last year.
So on the day that you got married, where in the planet were you and where in the planet was she?
She was in Qatar and I was here in Florida.
Okay. So you married someone you had never met face-to-face before.
Right.
USCIS is not going to like that. State Department's really not going to like that. I think they're going to give you a lot of trouble about that.
Okay.
How did you meet originally?
Oh, we met through a dating site.
Is there an age gap?
I'm 65. She's 45.
Has she ever lived? How long has it been since she lived in Georgia?
She lives and works in Qatar. That was just a country that we picked out to go meet at.
Oh, what's her country of nationality? Where's she from?
Philippines. She's been working in Qatar now for 9 years.
Larry, I think I can honestly say that in our office, we've never ever filed a case where the couple got married before they met each other.
Right.
I think that's a huge problem.
Okay. Well, I can't get her into the country. I guess I'll be moving over there.
Yeah. I mean, how long did you know each other before you got married?
6 months.
Yeah. And has she been married before, and have you been married before?
Well, I've been married before. She has never been married before. And no children.
Did your prior marriage involve any immigration benefits for anybody, or no?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, keep us posted. I'd be interested to hear what happens, but I think this is going to be a tough case.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stay up with you on it, Jim, and let you know everything that goes. Oh, I was going to ask you, if it doesn't go through, would it be advisable for me to file another I-130?
I think what I would do, if this case goes sideways, I think what I would do is I would probably, I'd want to look at everything and research it. So you've only had one trip together? One trip together?
Right. Yeah, we spent 2 weeks together.
Are you going to go see her anytime soon?
I'm hoping to, but it's the money with the flights is kind of hard. She's going back to the Philippines, but a flight to the Philippines is like almost $2,000.
Is she going to stay there, or she's going to go back to Qatar?
Oh, she's going back to visit her family. She hasn't seen her family in 7 years.
I mean, because the one thing we don't want is for her to have an embassy interview in Manila. That would be terrible.
No, well, I've already told her that, so that she'd probably be better off embassy in Qatar.
So I think what's probably going to happen is they're going to deny the case. And then I think what I would probably say is, I'm not a big fan of the online wedding. I think we could make an argument that the online wedding wasn't valid. And I would hope at that point you'd have had 3 or 4 more trips to see her. And then I'd get married legit, for real, not online, like wherever she is or wherever you can get married. We got married through the state of Utah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, and especially if neither of you are in Utah. We almost got remarried when we were in Georgia, but I didn't know if it was a good idea to have 2 marriages. I wouldn't do it while you have this case is pending, but I think if this case gets denied, that might be the route you have to go. Thanks, Larry, for the call. Keep us posted, okay, buddy?
Thank you, Jim.
See you, man. Wow, I think that's the first time we've heard of somebody getting married before they met face to face. I don't think we've had one like that before. Everybody, let me know in the comments. Hi, Janina.
Hi, Jim. Hi. Thank you for taking my call, to you and your team.
How you doing?
Very good. I'm thrilled that I'm here on the show.
Awesome.
Yes, I'd like to tell you about my story, but I'd like to be off camera if that's possible.
Done.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, I have filed for an I-130 for my husband, who is now in Colombia. And I'm an LPR, lawful permanent resident. And I have a few reasons why I'm still an LPR after 25 years of becoming an LPR.
Whoa.
So yes, it's been a while. I filed for my M400 after divorcing my previous husband, who was an US citizen. So in 2003, this was in 2003. So I never received any notification from INS. That's how it was called back in the day.
Right.
And never received a notification. I was like puzzled, what's going on? So I didn't know what to do. And in 2007, I decided to file again for my M400.
Yeah.
And didn't receive any notification. But at this time, I decided to get an InfoPass appointment. So I got my InfoPass appointment. I went to the local office here in Virginia, and I didn't have an appointment. You know, somebody called me, and this woman was at the counter. I don't know where she was from, and she was being kind of harsh with me, and I didn't know what to do. I got scared. I got really, really scared, and I left.
Yeah.
And so at the time, I was settling in my job here at a developmental organization in Washington, where if you continue being an LPR, you don't have to pay for taxes. And I said, okay, I tried to become an American citizen. They're not letting me, so I'm gonna let it pass. Okay, so this was 2007.
Okay.
And 16 years later, I met this wonderful guy, you know, at a wedding in Colombia. We fell in love.
Nice.
We fell in love, and I married him after 1 year. So I sponsored him to get a visa with the I-130, and we've been waiting. It's been probably less than a year.
Yeah.
And at this stage of our relationship, I decided to become a citizen in a way of trying to speed up the process or what have you. So I want you to please advise me as to what would be the best way to talk to the people when they call me for my interview, because I don't want to have any issues with immigrations. I know the previous marriage I have, it was bona fide. I entered in good faith. You know, the thing is that the guy started to act really weird, and he was this kinky way of being, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
And I know that I didn't divorce him right away, but I was afraid that something would happen to me, and he didn't want to help me to pay for the divorce.
Yeah.
So I paid for the divorce in 2003. I was the one paying. So I don't know what or how I can prepare to speak with USCIS when I get my interview.
So would it be fair to say that you see that you're a little anxious about all this, about your naturalization? Is that fair to say?
It is, Jim. And I have a lawyer. He's told me, calm down, Janina, calm down.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a second opinion with you. And yes, I think I'm a little anxious. Yeah.
And have you already filed for citizenship?
I have. I'm waiting for my interview now. Yeah.
Do you have any reason to think that your first husband said bad things about you to USCIS?
I called him the other day because I found his phone. He's a photographer, and he's a photographer for the Fetish something in Miami, Florida.
Speaking of your kinky ways that you were
exactly.
So,
yes.
Like he goes and takes pictures of people's feet or something.
I know, it's like weird. So we spoke. We were in good terms, and I say, "Hey, how you've been doing?" And word was that he called at some point INS because he wanted to find me, because in 2002 he was already in a relationship with this girl. He was in this relationship, and he called immigration because he wanted to find me. He called immigration.
That was
He called me
that was after you had your green card or before?
after I got my 10-year green card. I got my green card in less than 2 years.
So hold on. So when what's the start date? When did you first become a lawful permanent resident?
Is that the day that is on the green card?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's September 28th, 1998. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by the time he started calling USCIS about you, you already had your 10-year green card. You were already good to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And has anybody, I think one thing that might really, really help you feel better is if you did a Freedom of Information Act request. Have you requested your whole immigration file?
I have.
Was there anything in there that made you nervous?
I don't know, because I haven't received it yet. So I just requested it in May.
Yeah,
May 14th.
I would have done that before your naturalization, but according to USCIS, they actually a FOIA request is the one thing that can slow down a citizenship request. So applying for citizenship, if you apply for citizenship and then make a FOIA, my understanding is they pull your case out of citizenship processing and put it into FOIA. So I would just like you to have all that stuff before you go to the interview, just so that you feel more to me, this is all about your mindset and trying to make you feel comfortable. I think you're going to become a citizen. I think it's going to go pretty quickly. The one thing I wasn't sure you mentioned, those questions about whether you've ever declared yourself a non-resident so as to not have to pay taxes, or are you behind on taxes? You're good on all that stuff?
I have all my tax returns, from the time before I got married until the point when I got hired by this international organization. So by law, I was not required to pay taxes, when I started working for this organization, because I'm an LPR. Yeah. So long as I stay as an LPR, I was acting in a legal way, unless I became a citizen of this country.
Okay. All right. So you and your lawyer aren't worried about the tax questions?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think you're fine, and I think it's good that you're going ahead with citizenship. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to stop worrying, and I'm just going to be patiently waiting for the FOIA.
All right.
That's all I'm going to do for now. Thank you so much, Jim.
See ya. Good luck.
You're wonderful. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right. We sure like helping ease people's anxiety. That's for sure. Don't like people to be stressed out about that. We also don't like people being stressed out about their fetish filming husband. How about that? She's laughing off screen. She's laughing, shaking her head. Sorry about that. All right. I-130 questions. Hello.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. I have a question. I guess, can I get off camera?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for taking my call. So I have a quick question, or I'll try to make it quick.
You go take your time. We're fine.
Okay. So I've submitted so I'm Mexican, and I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Okay. I've submitted like my I-130, I-485, but I submitted it right before the deadline or the fees changes.
Yep.
So they returned my packet.
How
come? Like May 15th, and told me that it was post-dated for the 1st, which I wasn't aware because I sent it actually through like FedEx.
You mean the check was post-dated, or what was post-dated?
The actual shipping label that they used said April 1st, but all my tracking information is as of March 30th, excuse me. So they rejected it for the wrong filing fees. And so, now I guess I'm stuck, which.
Yeah. You could spend 6 months trying to fight it out with them. And at the end of the day, they're in charge. So you might as well just go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I figured. And so I was like, oh, well, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So I have to redo like 2 applications because they made changes.
Yeah.
But my question was, they've like stapled everything, and it looks like where they scanned it and wrote it all over. Do you know if everything has to be reprinted to be resent to them, like clean again without their stuff on it, their markings?
If it were me, I would start all over.
Start all over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And okay, so I can do that. My only other question, so I have an EAD because I have it through DACA.
Uh-huh.
And it's valid through February of 2025.
Yeah.
Do you think I need to go ahead and still apply for a new EAD card or wait?
If you can afford the 260, I would.
Okay. Yeah. That's
I'm a big believer of taking any benefit that you can, because you never know what's going to happen.
okay. And I mean, what about the advanced parole? I've been here for many, many years and I haven't traveled.
So let me ask you about that. So
Yeah.
When you came as a kid, did you come with a visa or did you come over the border?
I came with a visa, with the B1, B2, I think.
And you have proof of your entry?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say, like, you have your I-94, or you have a stamp in your passport, or you have something that shows that you were inspected when you came in. If you do, that's the most valuable thing that you own.
I don't know that I have that. I could ask my mom. I'm sure she would have it.
So now we're going to say something else. Now we're going to say,
yeah.
Thanks be to God that they sent back your application, because if you didn't send that, you're going to have a big problem. Your whole ability to adjust status depends on how you entered, and you've got to prove up how you entered at the beginning.
Okay.
So track that down, your old passport or your visa or whatever proof you have of your entry into the United States. Like, you need to drill down on that, because number one, you might get asked about it at an interview, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to explain that. So talk to your mom and your dad or whoever brought you, and make sure you know the story, and then get whatever you can to document that, because otherwise you can't do a 45 without going overseas.
Yeah, that I am aware of. Okay, so that's good to know. I'm sure my mom probably has it. So even with them already having all my DACA stuff on file since prior with that information, I would still need to send it in for this one.
Well, yes, because number one, they won't connect your DACA case to this case. Number one. Number two, you didn't need proof of your entry for DACA.
No. No, you're right.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say, you were asking me about advanced parole, and Robert is suggesting that you get advanced parole. I would say no, I would not get advanced parole if I were you, because you shouldn't leave until you get your green card, no matter what.
Okay, yeah, because I know a lot of people that have done the advanced parole if they came without a status.
Right.
But right. I know that's...
Well, check with your mom and come back and let me know, and we can talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Jim.
All right, see ya. Okay, bye. All right, a couple housekeeping things. I want to show you guys a video. Now, on our show that we don't let people talk when they're on the phone. When you're on the phone, when you're on a call, when you're driving, you can't talk to me while you're driving. Well, some poor bastard is making the rounds on Instagram right now because he was driving while he was supposed to be in traffic court. He was driving, and I'm going to play the clip for you and make sure that you guys sort of understand the concept. So let me share my screen. I don't know. Have you guys seen this? Share the screen. All right, let me play this for you. So this guy has a suspended driver's license, but he appears in court while driving. So here's what happens.
My doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is turning himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Oh man. So that was something else. I feel bad for the guy. I think he's in a little bit of trouble. You definitely shouldn't be driving. First of all, you should never be on a call when you're driving. But that judge was not happy. And that guy couldn't have been any more busted. I just couldn't believe it. So I wanted to make sure you guys know, if you have a suspended sentence, a suspended driver's license, don't be driving around. That guy's got to turn himself in, and they revoked his bond. So that really sucks. I mean, usually with driving with a suspended license or driving without a license, they just want you to get a new license, and then you pay the fine, and then you're off you go. So that was something. One other thing, if you guys, we got about 10 minutes left. I am going to share. If you guys can do me a favor, I know we always ask you for reviews and stuff, and that's great. I really appreciate it. But my daughter Noor is trying to build out her social media. She's, the director of TikTok for me, but she also has a YouTube, a TikTok, Twitter account, and she's trying to grow out her Twitter followers. So I'm going to put a link. If you guys could just give her a follow on Twitter, I would appreciate it. She puts all her softball highlights on there. So that would be a big help to us if you could do that for me. All right, let's get back to it. We got about 10 minutes left, and Saul's been waiting. Hello, Saul.
Hello, Jim. How are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How you doing?
Good. I've been on the show before. I've been watching about over 100 episodes of your show now. So I learned a lot, and now I'm nervous about my case. So I'm currently waiting. I applied for my green card based on Asylum on September 1st last year.
Okay.
My immigration case is very complicated. I have a big file this thick, and I'm worried that, if Trump gets back to presidency, things are going to get complicated. And I actually, my whole process, my whole thing with immigration being, I started with Obama, and then I went with Trump, then it changed with, I finally got the asylum with Biden, and through all the presidencies, something changed in my case,
Yeah.
So now my question is, I know most people, for what I've seen now, the green card for asylum is taking about a year to 14 months.
Yeah.
Online, when you check, it says it's about 30 months, but so most people are getting it around that time. Being that my case is complicated, I'm worried that they're gonna maybe hold on it for a while longer than most people, because it also got transferred to Texas office, which was weird because nobody, like the groups that I am with, the asylum people, nobody else's application has been moved except mine. That kind of worries me that it went to the Texas thing. So I wanted to ask, if, let's say, September comes around, October comes around, and I don't get any updates or anything, can I sue after a year period, or do I have to wait the 30 months?
No, you can sue, and I think it would sail right through.
Yeah. So
now, listen, I don't want you to be too worried, though. I mean, Donald Trump is going to cause a lot of damage to immigrants if he becomes president, but I don't think it'll affect cases like yours.
Well, hopefully, because like I said, I have a very,
The only question I wanted to ask you about, so to me, when I hear about people trying to get their green card through asylum, the one thing that always comes up is, well, was there something in their asylum case that they said, or a fact in their case that still allow them to get asylum, but might let them not become a green card holder, if that makes sense? So, and to me, the big question, Saul, is, did you list membership in any groups? That's always it's always about the groups.
No, I don't have anything like that. I just I had like the last time I called, I was asking you because I have a criminal charge that I had in 2013, and it was listed in there, and that was the only thing that big thing that I have, other than that, the rest, it was that because of that charge, I had DACA before, and because of that charge, I lost DACA, and I was put in procedures and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm worried, because I had all the stuff in there, and I'm like, kind of like,
So did you
but it's all listed in there.
Did you get asylum from an immigration judge?
Yes.
And what court had your case?
It's in Fairfax. My court was in Virginia. Yeah.
Well, there's really no connection to Texas at all. That's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they send it. That's what I was concerned because I'm like, why did they send it to to Texas office? You know, and I looked online and I asked in the groups, and nobody's application was sent there. And it was sent March 7. So I'm waiting to see if I get some kind of. I didn't send my medical, so I'm sure they're gonna ask me for my medical or an interview because of the. I've been in the country over 20 years and like I'm sure they're gonna ask me a lot of questions about that and everything, but everything is listed there. I came with a visa when I was a kid, then I had DACA, and then I ended up with asylum because of the problems that I had.
I think a lot of delay happens between people who get asylum from the immigration court and apply for a green card with USCIS, because for most of my time as a lawyer, the immigration court was completely separate from USCIS, so I still don't think they have good decisions for asylum granted by the court, and then now the guy's applied for green card.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I read too. That is sometimes when you get it through the immigration court, it takes a little longer. Another thing is like the judge that gave me the asylum. He, when I went to get my I-94, is that what's called? I went to an info pass and I went into the immigration office. The guy and the officer told me that he was surprised of how big the judge order was because it was like 13 pages or 17 pages long, and he was like, it's usually 2 pages. He's like, why did they? And I was like, I asked him if that was something bad or a reason why he did that. He's like, no, he pretty much explained, like
he probably thought the government was going to appeal. Can you?
Yeah.
You want to send it to me? I wouldn't mind reading it.
Yeah, sure. I can send it the whole thing to you. What's the info hackimmigration.com?
Yeah,
sure. I will send it to you because they were very surprised. Even the lawyer that went with me, he was like, I never seen a order like that. And I hope it's not bad. He was just like, it's good. It's well explained, just in case someone has doubts. But let's see what happens.
Thanks, Saul. See you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Okay, bye. All right, let's go to Aziz. Hi, Aziz.
Hello, Jim. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. This is my first time actually. I wanted to ask a question about my mom. I'm a citizen. I filed for my mom, and I'm hoping if she come over here, she can file for my brother who is more than 21 but not married.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom will be coming here, but she will be going back home as well. So I don't know if that is going to impact the filing.
So did mom have her interview already?
Oh yeah, she already got the visa.
Oh, but she hasn't come yet.
She hasn't come yet.
You paid the LSV?
No, I haven't paid. You talking about the green card?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I paid. I think when she come over here, I'll pay that.
No, make sure you got to pay it between when it gets approved and when she gets on the plane. Pay it ahead of that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then, so is she going to wait here in the United States until she gets the physical green card?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to stay till she gets the green card?
Yeah. She's going to stay until she got a green card. She's probably going to stay here about 6 months.
Okay.
And then she'll go home.
So she's going to apply for your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And what country is she from?
Ghana.
Yeah. So right now, you're talking a 8-year wait. So it's going to be a long time for him to be able to come.
Oh, it's 8 years? Because I was trying to file for him, but I know it's going to be more than 10 years. So
that's 17 years. That's 17 years. Right.
Exactly. That's why I said, okay, let me file for my mom. When my mom comes, she can file for him. And maybe that will be lesser than me filing for him.
It will, but it's still a really long wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Aziz. See you, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. All right, everybody. That'll do it on today's show. Hina gave me a heart attack. She said not guilty. I thought that meant that the Trump verdict was back, but don't be freaking me out, people, until there's an actual verdict. That gave me a little heart stop. All right. I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. for the last show of the week. Maybe I'll do a show this weekend. Nor does have softball. We'll see. Maybe on Sunday I'll do a pop-up show. That's okay, Hina. Listen, if you're not on our text line, text the word show to 314-470-3300, and we will text you before we go live. It was fun having Amani on the show. Lots of good questions, lots of good guests. And I want to let you know that in a couple of weeks, we're going to start that podcast, Best of the Immigration Answer Show for the week. So we're going to splice the video and come up with a weekly audio version of the podcast that you can listen to when you're out and about, and we'll be picking the best clips of the week. So hope you all have a great night, a great rest of your Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks, Hina. Thanks, Huli. Bye, everybody. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of the disease.